Hi everyone, my name is Hannah and I am a nutrition educator with Cornell Cooperative Extension of Jefferson County. Today I'll be showing you a recipe for chicken burgers. Chicken burgers are a great way to change up your burger game and try something a little bit different. In this recipe, lean chicken is mixed with some veggies for extra flavor, nutrients, and texture, and some spices are added in, which makes it really fun to customize. This is then baked, but you could also be grilled if you have access to an outdoor grill. You can use different vegetables and spices every time so that your burger never gets boring and you're always trying something a little bit new. I recommend serving this on a whole wheat roll with some sweet potato fries or some fresh vegetables for a well-rounded meal. Let's go ahead and get started. First, preheat your oven to 375 degrees. Next, gather all of your ingredients. One of the nice things about these chicken burgers is they are so versatile. You can use whatever you have available to kind of customize these and make them your own. So specifically, switching up what kind of vegetables you have, I like to include some spinach because it gives it a nice little bit of crunch. Red bell peppers or something like that will be delicious. I'm also going to have some spinach in there as well, about a half a cup. The other part you can really kind of change up depending on your family's taste is what spices you have. So I'm going to add the spices in a little bit and I'll talk to you about my choices, but just know that that is an option for you. So these are pretty easy to make. We're just going to mix everything in a large bowl. So I'm going to start by chopping up my celery, and I want them to be fairly small pieces. That way you don't take a bite of your burger and just get a whole mouthful of celery when you're expecting some juicy meat. So I'm just going to go ahead and slice this up. Next, I'm going to go ahead and chop up half an onion to use. Now I have my veggies added, and I'm going to add my spices. Let's start with some powdered white onion. I'm going to use 1.5 teaspoons of this. Add some garlic powder. The same amount, 1.5 teaspoons. Few cranks of black pepper. I like them pretty peppery, so it will probably end up being about 1/4 teaspoon or so. So that's about how much black pepper I will add. And I'm going to add some crushed red pepper, give it a little bit of spice, just a few shakes. This is completely optional. The only spices that I really recommend including are going to be the garlic powder, the onion powder, and parsley, or oregano, or some other kind of like green herb. And I'm going to do the same amount of this one, 1.5 teaspoons. I also like to add some smoked paprika. You could also add normal paprika. I think it just gives it a nice little bit of extra flavor, a little bit of smokiness if you smoked, just a little bit of spiciness, a little bit of warmth. And I'm gonna do 1 teaspoon. Sometimes you just have to gauge it by how you're feeling in the moment. So I've got all my spices. I'm gonna add in my spinach. So my spinach was frozen. You could use a chopped fresh. For the frozen, I'm actually not gonna worry about it being thawed. I know a lot of times there's kind of a fear when cooking with poultry that it's gonna dry out. Having a little bit of moisture in there is gonna be okay. And then I've got my 1 pound of ground chicken. I'm just gonna slide that in. Put that plate straight into the sink because I don't want to worry about contamination or anything like that. Now that I've got it on my bowl, I'm just gonna get my hands dirty and mix it in. I recommend removing jewelry. Makes it a little bit cleaner. All right. As you can see, it's pretty well incorporated now. So we're about ready to go and shape them. Now that our chicken burger mixture is all mixed together, we can go ahead and shape them into the classic patty form. So you can kind of choose whatever size that you want. I'm gonna kind of go for the classic kind of 4-inch ones. I'm not gonna make them super thick because I want them to cook faster, but the world is your oyster. Choose whatever you want. Just kind of shape it loosely like that. And I'll probably end up adding a little bit more mixture to it. It's not evenly divided. I'm actually gonna make all of them a little bit smaller to match this one and make 5 patties. I think it's about the size of a palm per patty is a little more reasonable, and if I did 4, they would be a little bit bigger than that, so. All right, so there I have these made. I'm gonna wash my hands really well, and I'm gonna put them into the oven starting at about 15 minutes. And then we'll start checking them at after 15 minutes. We're just trying to get the internal temperature up to 165. Take the temperature of your chicken burgers by inserting your thermometer directly into the center of one of your patties. Make sure that you're not poking all the way through and so the tip of the thermometer is touching the sheet pan. You want it to be hitting right in the middle. We want the internal temperature to be at least 165 degrees for poultry. So sometimes I like to take it at multiple points. So if I have a lot of chicken patties on a sheet pan and I'm not sure if maybe that back of my oven is hotter than the front of my oven, I'll tape one from the front and one from the back as well, just to make sure that everything is correctly up to temperature.